Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique real estate firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing consultants who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my real estate team member, Mary Baker, and I, along with the director of Boston Connect Real Estate, Melissa Wallace, provide you with our unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We like to mix it up sometimes, so not only will you hear our perspective on real estate topics, but you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of some of our real estate agents at Boston Connect Real Estate and the preferred professionals that we trust. Be part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We'd love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team or one of the dedicated agents at Boston Connect Real Estate to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with us at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And hello to all my South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I am joined in studio by my team member and broker owner, Sharon McNamara.
Hello, hello.
Hello. We're multitasking tonight, huh, Sharon?
Yes, we are. We're getting it all done. Yeah, today's been one of those days. Was it the rain? Like the what did they call that? That pressure, like when it rains and things like that with the atmosphere.
It's atmospheric pressure.
Yeah. I think that's
put it all
it
together
is.
For you. You have the idea, and I'm execute it.
That's how our world works, by the way.
Yeah. I feel like it's been a few days. Mm-hmm. Yesterday was a whirlwind. Today was a whirlwind. And Tuesdays are our long days, too, because we have the radio show.
You know when things are a little strange, too, when Julia, who's our new administrative coordinator, she's like, it's been a day.
Yeah. She's the newest. She's the newest here.
She's picking up
well, actually,
on it.
We do have a newer person, which we're going to be introducing in a minute. But even if Julia's saying, it's been a day, it's been a day. Awesome. So now we have some release. We have I just had another cup of coffee, which probably was a bad idea.
I sort of thought that maybe you had like a espresso.
No, but I should have gone to Starbucks and gotten an espresso. I know we have an espresso machine,
we have a machine here,
but I just like the way that they do my coffee.
I know.
With the
and
espresso.
we have a guest here, and she's probably wondering when am I getting introduced. But I do have to say one other thing.
Yeah.
I had that espresso martini at Christina's on Saturday night. Honest to God.
Yeah.
It was the best thing with coconut rim.
Yeah, it's a coconut espresso martini. It is very good.
The only thing is, it's like it was a little awkward that I literally wanted to stick my tongue out and like lap like around the rim.
That would have been awkward. Yeah, but if you do it sort of, if you're one of the last people there, or you sit in the corner. And
generally,
you lick the rim, I suppose. You get it. It is very good. The presentation is beautiful, and everybody loves
great.
it. So
yes, it was wonderful. I loved it.
And you can take one to go. So
I found that out. I didn't take mine to go, but I did. I drank mine, but I found out that you can do that.
Yeah.
So you obviously follow me on Instagram.
Yes, I do. Yes, but we have a very special guest tonight, and not even just a guest. You can now call yourself a co-host because you have joined our Boston Connect Real Estate family. Mm-hmm. You, I believe, are known here on the South Shore, but we want to formally introduce you to all of our listeners. We have a brand new agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate, Emmie Flaherty. Hello.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining us. Yes. Thanks for joining our wonderful, happy family.
I know. As you can see, the energy on Tuesday seems a little weird, so we're just so happy. I mean, you literally have been with our office for a hot minute.
Yeah. I onboarded you yesterday.
Yes. And I got to tell you, one of the things I loved when we've been talking and, I said, oh, well, you can come on the show with me. You feel free. I mean, this is something that's open to all the Boston Connect agents here. And you're like, yeah, whenever. So I texted you, I think it was yesterday, like, okay, well, why don't you plan on doing the show with us tonight? And here you are.
I know. I love it. Many opportunities here, which is what brings me by. So
that's awesome. Yes. And we are so excited to have you and watch your business grow and, watch you to be able to do some of the things. One of the things that I loved when you were interviewing us as a company to consider was, the point that you're 0.4 miles from here.
Yeah.
She can walk. So she's 0.4 miles from the office. But one of the things that resonated with me so much when we were talking is just your love for your community, the love for, being involved and helping local businesses and being involved with the schools and the PTO and, with the dog shelters and things like that. Like, it's such a great match for our office. And we're so excited to have you here and share some of that with our listeners. This is your first time here. So again, this is Emmie Flaherty. She is a full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate, and we're very excited to have her. So you want to do the honors of telling people how you're doing in the business and what you're looking forward to?
Yeah,
a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. So I've been in Pembroke here for the last 6 years now, and prior to that, my parents lived here in Pembroke. So I could say I was semi-resident since 2000, but once my kids got into the school system, it was just kind of like a no-brainer. It was like, my daughter came home actually in first grade and said to me, Mom, why aren't you on the PTO? And I didn't really have an answer. I said, well, if that means a lot to you, I'll do it. And I've been there ever since. So it's been great. It's been so awesome to meet people here in Pembroke and really get to be, involved in the community. And it's just kind of evolved from there.
That's awesome. I know one of the big things we have, and I'm going to have you join me since you are so, you're just so passionate about this too, is, discussing, we have an election. We have the town meeting coming up. I want to say it's the 17th, maybe. I can't remember the exact date. I can look that up. I have it in my calendar somewhere. I know that we have a big vote coming on and talking about the community center and, I don't know even how you personally feel about it, but I am looking forward to that and I'm really hoping it passes. So maybe together, the three of us can be the voice to help get that message across and the importance of having that. Because I know that the last time there was just, didn't go so well, but we're hoping that it will. Because I'm also on the committee for the police department and stuff. So we actually put that on hold so we can get the community center what they need.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a great addition. I'm totally on board. I mean, we can't use what we have there now, so I think it's time to go forward.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so tonight's topic, I know one of the things that Emmie really is interested in when it comes to her real estate business, very successful agent. Again, I don't even know what her numbers are because we don't gauge success by numbers here. We gauge it by how happy people's clients are. But I do know that she's very successful at what she does. And I know one of your passions and one of your loves is really with helping people sell their homes. And that's what we're going to discuss tonight. So to all our WATD listeners, you can also watch us live on Facebook. We know that we have maybe a couple people out there already. Hello to our Facebook friends. You can also call in because we have George, who is at the WATD studio in Marshfield, and he is. Oh, we didn't even say hello to George today. Hey, George.
Hey, George.
Hey, Sharon.
Yes, we're so happy to have you. So people can call 781-837-4900. If you have any questions for us regarding real estate, it does not have to be this topic. If you just want to call and welcome Emmie to our Boston Connect family, feel free to do that as well. All our listeners know we also bribe. We give Dunkin' Donut gift cards to people who call in. So feel free to call in with any of your questions. But tonight we're going to be talking about the importance of hiring a real estate agent and advisor when you are selling your home. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good to us.
All right. Well, perfect. All right. You're on board. You're ready to go?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay. You're like so patiently standing there.
Yeah. It was sort of my idea to focus on the sellers because I feel like we have been focusing so much on buyers in the past few weeks. Just because, and I will reiterate a little bit that, it's right now it's a really great time to be a buyer. I understand that the interest rates are rising and, if you take that out of it, the opportunity opportunity to see houses that are on the market, that, you know, you might be able to see it more than once, or you have a little bit more time to see it. I talked about one of Sharon's clients, which she was able to see a house 3 times before deciding not to put it on.
That's crazy.
Yeah, not to put it on, put in an offer. And you know what? It's unheard of in the past 2 years, because, you know, sometimes you had 5 minutes to go through an open house, because no showings into the open house. You have a 5-minute window, and then the deadline is 2 minutes after the open house ends. And, you know, that's when you were waiving everything. And I feel like we're away from that frenzy. But I want to just sort of focus on sellers, because we have been focusing so much on the buyers, which, again, great time to buy a house. I understand the interest rates, you know, but it's also a great time to sell too.
Yeah, but this is my favorite time for people to sell. I mean, you're better off being one of less inventory than one of much.
Well, explain why is it better to
I just
sort of
and more than that?
Yeah, and more than that.
So I just think that this time of year is a great time. I mean, you have less people that are coming through your house, less disruptions. You have more people who are actually thinking about buying a house versus people who are looky-loos, you know, that just need something to do on a Sunday afternoon. So that's why I think it's better. Emmy, what are your thoughts?
I agree with the inventory thing. You know, I think a lot of times people get to this point in the year and they're like, I'm going to wait till spring. You know, I've got Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then, God forbid, January and February, you know. So I agree. I would capitalize on it now for sure.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, too, is what we see in our area is, you know, Pembroke, we're south of Boston, but we're all over the South Shore, and we go everywhere. That's why we're Boston Connect Real Estate, connecting Boston to the South Shore through real estate. But Boston is a hub for finance, education, and for medical. So we see a lot of relocation that happens at the beginning of the year. So a lot of reload people are coming in at the end of the year, which is a really great time to sell your house. I know some people... Let me ask you this, Emmy, like your thoughts with people who maybe have been on the market for a little bit and they think that they want to just take their house off the market for the holidays. What would be your suggestion to them on that?
I don't know. I think there's several factors there. If it were me, I would say, you know, let's talk about what's going on in this moment instead of taking it off the market, because there's definitely probably some improvements or things that you could do to catch new attention. But, you know, it just depends on the individual scenario. But I feel like I would probably say stay on, because, you know, you're going to be dealing with a lot more inventory in the spring.
Yeah. And I love that answer, too, because it does matter, right? I mean, everybody's situation is different, you know, for what their motivation is and where they are and where they're going.
Well, that's why I always say the right time to sell your house is the right time for you. You know, we have heard, oh, I missed the market. Did I miss the market? What's the market doing? It's like, you might have missed that market, but we're moving into another market. So if you want to sell your house in this market, these are the expectations. And I think that is very important in getting back to why you hire a professional full-time realtor to sell your house. The difference between hiring a realtor and selling it yourself, if you're not in the business and are not familiar with how fluctuate, like the market literally changed overnight. But I felt like because we sort of have like, I can only think of like inside trading. It's like we have like this inside knowledge, like we know, we like knew it was going to happen. It happened very quickly, but you and I hope you don't get offended, but you have been in the business long enough where you've seen things like this happen several times over your career, 22 years. It comes back, you know, just like how we had Pete on the other day say, yes, the interest rates are high, but marry the house, date the rate. You know, you can refinance. Yes, you might be paying a little bit more now, but down the road, like, are you going to be paying for, you know, this amount for 30 years? No, you can refinance. You can do that. Like, there are options. But the thing with hiring a realtor, you know, somebody who is a professional, you understand and you can set the expectations. And I feel like that is the most important part about having a realtor is you have these expectations because it's explained, and you're really great at that. And I've always said that you're really great in your CMAs and, you know, talking with sellers and giving them sort of how you came to your number. At the end of the day, it's their decision, it's their house, it's their financial future. But yeah, you're like staring at the ceiling like,
no, I'm not. I'm thinking, and I'm contemplating, because you know what, I was just sitting in when you were talking about how I do my CMAs, I know that Emmie is looking forward to that process and me showing her how I do that and teaching people how to do that. And all of our agents know, you know, the importance of what numbers are. And we did talk about that earlier about, you know, what numbers are. Numbers can lie if you want them to, but for the most part, when you're looking at them the right way when it comes to selling a house, that's the really important part. And I would say right now, that's the trickiest part about listing your home, is knowing where the market is. Don't worry about where it was, because that's gone, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I have people say, you know, all the time, well, you know, Bob and, you know, Karen across the street sold, you know, last July for, you know, $100,000 more than they were asking. So that's what we're going to do, you know, and that's when you have to say, you know, I know that, but that was last July. So, you know, it's really helpful to set some expectations from the get-go.
Yeah. And that's, I think, what, you know, we do as professional real estate agents that are selling houses is that's our fiduciary responsibility, is to give you the best information so you can make the best financial decision for you in your life, right. You know? So, and I think that what we offer as agents, really, you know, there was a time most recently where we would hear people say, oh, I don't, you know, what do I need an agent for? I can just put a sign out there myself and I'll be able to sell it, you know, perhaps. But, you know, National Association of Realtors has all kinds of statistics that if you sell your house with a real estate agent, you will be making more money, netting more income, more money or more proceeds or whatever. And it's a lot less hassle. So let's talk about some of those advantages of when you do hire a real estate agent. Again, you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable, 781-837-4900. If you don't like our topic tonight, feel free to call in. Feel free to call in with any question that you may have. But if you do like our topic and you want to be part of the conversation, please, you know, feel free to do so. I did put a poll out there. I put it out there a little bit too late, so we didn't have many people that actually got a chance to see it. But putting in there, what do you think the most important aspects, what do sellers want the most from their real estate agent when they're selling their house? Emmie, because she confused me when she's like taking up and I'm thinking Instagram. So hi, Instagram, right? Emmie, what would you think that people's top priorities are, the best advantages for having an agent that sellers want the most?
Well, definitely, you know, they need that professional opinion, you know. I've seen so many people, especially like when you said when the market was really, really booming for sellers, that just, you know, put a sign out front and you could go check it out on Zillow. But, you know, if you work with a realtor, you're going to get a whole different experience. And I think that, you know, the sellers are looking at, obviously, price. I mean, this is probably your largest investment. So we all know that the number one thing that you want as a seller is to get as much as you can for your property. And when you're working with a realtor, you're going to get, you know, that expertise, and there's a lot of strategy to it. And I think people overlook a lot of the strategy. You know, it's not just, okay, here's 5 houses in your town that have sold recently. It's, you know, look at this one that got X amount over asking, and why was that, and kind of breaking it down, because oftentimes there's something unique about your home or your neighborhood or something that you've done or something that can be done to your home that's going to appeal to someone. So it's really about finding, you know, that unique characteristic or multiple characteristics and getting it, you know, marketed the proper way.
The proper way, which is so important. And, you know, reaching the outreach, we can, well, that's sort of down on my list a little bit further, like with what we do with marketing and advertising and all of that, promoting and everything. It's just one of the most important factors, I think, and what I say to people is, you know, we're doing this full time, like, you know, basically 7 days a week. We have our hands at some point of the day in real estate, right? And especially when you have a listing, you always have to be on alert and, you know, focused on that. You never know when you're going to get the call or a question or any of that. So I like to say we're working full time while you're working full time at your job.
Right.
Why anybody would want to do it after, it doesn't make any sense. But you're never going to be able to keep up with the showings and the questions. And then once it does get under contract, that's a whole nother, it's almost like a whole nother job, right?
Right.
I mean, that's what we do full time, right? We're taking care of all these things. So the National Association of Realtors, my favorite book that comes out every year, comes out in November, right, when the NAR convention is, and I have waited in line for the book, but now we can just get it online, which is great, and I can print it, and I have it right here. But some of the statistics that they have, they said that the number one thing that sellers want from their listing agent is help them price their house competitively. So you were right on that. Ding, ding, ding. Give her an award. You want to give her a Dunkin' Donuts gift card?
Yes, I will. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing I think that is most important to sellers is, the advantage that we have to get home buyers in there. So, Emmie, I'm going to, again, Emmie Flaherty is joining us. She is a full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate, and we're excited to have her. She just joined our Boston Connect family, and this is something that she is very passionate about, is working with sellers. So, explain why it's so important to be able to, like you talked about it a little bit, is, being able to navigate that whole process and everything. But when the buyer comes, there's so much more that happens afterwards. Why don't you discuss that a little bit?
There is. I mean, in last year's market, I worked with so many buyers and went to so many houses that I have heard so many times, time and time again, characteristics that they're looking for and characteristics that they're seeking in a house. So when you're on the listing side, you know exactly, what it is that these people are looking for, and you can highlight that and point it out to them. Mm-hmm. So, it makes, to me, a huge difference, because it's like, that they're looking at this house, but you're there and you're representing the seller and trying to get them as much as you can for their home. So in my head, I start saying, okay, well, here's the things all my buyers tell me that they want. So let me show them to you.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the things, too, when I walk through somebody's home.
I was just going to say that.
Oh, you were? All right, go ahead. You say it then.
Sharon likes to walk through a house with the eyes of a buyer. So they're always looking for, buyers sometimes are looking for what's wrong.
But they're always generally looking for what's wrong.
Trying to be nice to the buyers, looking for something wrong. Right. So, it's not to be insulting or not to be anything, but it's, again, setting expectations. Like, okay, someone might not love the bright orange walls you have in this room. However, if we can get them to look past that, walls are very easy to paint. Okay, so let's focus on something else. I actually told another agent who is joining our office today. We went in, looked at a property, one of Sharon's, that she's going to be listing, and I told her today, I was like, Sharon doesn't like area rugs, and I'll tell you why. I said, it stops your eye. So you're looking down, you're looking at pictures, you're looking at the area. It's just another thing to look at. We're not in the rug business, okay? We're not selling rugs, we're selling houses. So pull up the rug, pull up the area rug.
Let's see those hardwood floors.
Let's see the hardwood floors. Someone's going to come in here and say, oh my gosh, that's the ugliest rug I've ever seen in my entire life, and that's all they're going to see in that room. Pull up the rug and show the beautiful hardwood floors,
and it just makes
floors,
the room,
it makes the room feel smaller. Brighten it up, bring it back to life.
And these are little tips too. Like, as an agent, this is what we're doing every day. So when we're going through the house, and I say that to people, I'm going through your home as the eyes of a buyer, because buyers looking for what's wrong, not for what's right. Believe me, Emmie, you will hear me say this over and over. Nobody has an ugly baby.
No, they don't.
And I say there's a bum for every seat.
Yes. And nobody has an ugly baby. And sometimes, I know that sometimes agents have said to me, well, how do you go into a house if it's like not perfect? And it's like, well, that's why they're hiring you.
Right.
You are the professional. You're the one that's giving them the advice to showcase their home in the best light so they can get their home sold. So you go in there and you make suggestions for it. So that was a little bit of the topic we had on Saturday, right? It's just like sometimes right now, like it seems like the buyers aren't creative enough to see past the orange walls in your example, right?
Yeah. You were sort of dogging on millennials for a little bit. I had to stand up for us.
I wasn't dogging. I'm the one that said that millennials are the smart. You do a lot of research.
You said that we were very smart, which is wonderful. I love that you said that. However, that you guys had said, they want everything new, shiny, everything will work. I mean, and I was just very quiet. And then they looked at me. I said, yeah, that might be some millennials that you know. However, if I was looking at a house, I would go in there and say, this has a lot of potential. It has character. I love this. I don't like all new. I want to be able to make improvements on a house so I can gain equity that way.
And the character goes back to exactly what Emmie was saying. Right. So she was saying, as a listing agent, nobody can sell a home like a listing agent can. And that's why at our office, we don't do what they call as uptime, like another agent answering the phone. Because I was thinking the other day when I was in my house, I was like, if I was to sell my house, what would be some of the features that I would want to discuss with the agent that I would want the next buyer to know?
Yeah.
And when you walk in my house, that room to the right, that was a half bath with laundry. And now it's the mud room with laundry. But if somebody didn't want that there, they could convert it back because the pipes are all there.
Yeah.
But that's why your listing agent can sell your property better, because you can't just see that through all of my jackets.
Yeah. But you would never want to be like, I bought my house for $137,000.
Yeah, I know. Well, I did.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I'm still there, by the way. And I also say I couldn't probably afford my house right now.
I was just going to say that. I think even Tracy said it on air. She said that she bought a brand new construction home in Hanover in 1999 for $399, and it didn't appraise. And she said, today I can't afford to buy my house. We're aging in place.
Yep.
So they're making improvements to their house.
Yes, every day. So helping sellers market their home to potential buyers is 20%. Help sell the home with specific time frames. So what are your thoughts on that? Because I know we talked, you mentioned to get you the most amount of money.
Yeah.
Everything else is just as important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, timeline, usually if you've made the decision to sell, you have your next plan in mind. So it's, hey, we're packing up and trying the West Coast, or, we want to be near Grandma and Grandpa in Maine. So once sellers have made that decision, it's often like, they're ready. So they want the time frame. And I get that. And, if you have that time frame in mind, you can't really mess around with trying to sell it yourself.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I agree. And not to bring it back to me, but I did say, the right time to sell it is the right time for you. So don't focus on the market we just had. Don't try to future forecast. That's our job. And I see on your paper, I know that you said agents work.
I did the agenda.
I know. I'm very impressed with you. And I left my agenda upstairs. I apologize. We have to share.
Oh, we can share.
But you said right here, you say agents work while you work. So it is very important to, hire a professional who does this for a living. So it's while you're at work in whatever job capacity you have, or even if you're living your life with your family, or, what do you like? Oh, you spelled agents wrong. We are supposed to be selling your house. That's what you're hiring us for. And again, we're just talking about sellers tonight, but even with buyers agents, we're hitting the ground running. We're going. Yeah. We're living in our cars.
And I think too, when we were talking earlier, and Emmie brought that up about the pricing strategy, it's when you're an expert in your current and local location, I think it's really important, because a lot of people will go on to Google and they don't realize that they're looking at national numbers, and national numbers are not local numbers. Right?
Not at all.
Yeah. Okay, so what about risk and liability? Who wants to talk about that? Risk, liability. Yep.
Sure.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't occur to me till I got my license, the number of things that you have to pay attention to and be cautious of when selling your home. As we all know, because it's the society we're living in right now, there's a lot of discrimination going on. And I was surprised, I try to be like everyone else, polite, considerate, kind, etc. But, I think I put something in one of my first listings back when I first started, walking distance to so-and-so. And very quickly I was flagged, and I'm like, what did I do? I had no idea. And then I'm like, it was like, oh, because you put walking distance. And, I didn't even think of it. And obviously that was something that, I had to amend and say short distance, because, there are people out there who, aren't able to walk somewhere. And I felt terrible. But, it's stuff like that. There's a lot of things that you can get in trouble for these days, not just specific to that, but, a lot of laws with selling the homes too, that if you don't know this, you could be treading a fine line.
Well, we did a disclosure, I almost said class, but we should do a disclosure class. We had a disclosure episode a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago. And
I think we did one with Amy at one time about disclose. She did a class here.
Yeah. So we should probably have her do another one because there is so much. And so we also talked about it at the open house at WATD because remember we had some callers in.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have to disclose this? So we were like debunking like, oh, if somebody passed away in the house, do you have to disclose it? Well, if somebody asks. But we did come up with 3 states that you have to. Alaska was one of them. I got somebody to text me that. There's so much that goes into it that you don't realize that's why it's so important to have a professional do this.
Absolutely. And I think that that's one of the reasons why when I am helping people, I am trying to take away that liability for them. So way back when you guys were little babies and I was in this business, I remember that in MLS, the only option we had was hardwood for floors. It was hardwood. And I have my GRI, which honestly, 3 letters that mean nothing. Graduate Real Estate Institute, right? So it's just a designation through NAR. And I don't want to minimize it. It's a great designation for those of you who have it. Congratulations. You have your GRI. I always don't want to offend anybody, right? I worked really hard for that. But anyways, I did too, and I have it. But I recall an attorney doing the class, one of the classes that I had to take, and he gave a situation where he said, an agent wrote hardwood floors throughout, put in there hardwood when he was doing the descriptions, if you can get your agent to even put that information in anymore. And lo and behold, house closes and there's a big lawsuit afterwards. So they were pine floors. Pine is soft wood. Okay. I grew up in Dorchester. I was never going to know that until I took this class. Right. And they sued and he won. And I remember I would write to MLS and say, can you please add an option to just have wood floors? That's all I wanted to put in there because I don't know the difference. Well, I do now, but then I was like, bamboo, pine,
engineered
fur,
not carpeted,
not wall to wall. What is that?
Plywood, like what? Like I just want wood. Let's just keep it simple.
Has floors. We should just have that option.
Well, and too, and here's a big one when we're talking about liability, and we're going to do a show, sometime soon as well about Title V, and septic systems is. If you have a listing, this happened, was it last year, Mel? I did 2 CMAs for people, so comparative market analysis. 2 different people. It was within the same couple of weeks. One of them bought what they thought was a 3-bedroom house. It was with a different agent, not me. And they showed me, I looked back into MLS and it said 3 bedrooms. And then when I'm doing my research to put the house on the market, I'm pulling the file and it's a 2-bedroom septic. That is a big, huge problem. And it can never, ever, ever be a 3-bedroom. Like we did the research. It was, no, this is what you have and you can never be any bigger. Because it was one of the houses near the ponds. So here they felt deflated because they thought they purchased a 3-bedroom house and now I have to sell it as a 2-bedroom house.
Right.
That's a huge liability, right? When you are listing a house. The other person thought that they had a 4-bedroom house and it was actually a 3-bedroom house. It was a 3-bedroom septic. So do you think the average person knows this type of stuff? Because I don't think they do.
No. I mean, some people don't know that you have to have a smoke inspection.
Yeah.
And that's something that, these are the processes
Final water
that we
reading.
that we have.
See, you need us.
Yeah, you need us. Give us a call. Right. Give us a call. But we do have somebody who's listening to us that says that she said, it's so crazy because I've noticed on House Hunters lately that they say wooden floors instead of hardwood floors. They never used to say that.
Yeah. They do.
Wooden floors.
Here are the wooden floors.
There's some type of wood on the floor here. But I wouldn't even, this could be. You could look at it and be like, that's wood, right? But what if it wasn't?
I don't know what type of wood it is, though.
Well, nowadays
red oak?
They have the flooring that, you can't even...
The engineered,
So
engineered.
that's probably where that comes from.
Yeah, right? I bet you.
Wood in there.
Yeah, what is it called again? They're just saying wooden floors?
Wooden floors.
Some type of wooden. It could be
some type
natural.
Of wooden.
It could be natural. It could be...
LVP.
Right?
Yeah.
So, that's good. Thanks, Liz.
Yeah, it is, Liz. That's my mom.
Yeah.
Well, she's right.
She's our number one.
Our number one listener for sure. Her and my dad. So there was something else I was going to say, that I was watching HGTV myself last night, and it's a sickness.
I don't know why. Okay, I'm sorry.
It is.
Why? You have real estate around you all day, every day, all night, every night, and then you go home and sit down to relax, and you watch more real estate.
But I have to tell you, because it's what we live and breathe.
I know.
Exactly.
But we know that HGTV is not real.
I
know it's
know.
not real estate.
Sometimes, that one show, like, where they have, like, they show them, like, houses, what is it, House Hunters?
House Hunters?
There are times
Wooden
when
floors.
I'm saying, like, screaming at the TV to the agent, fire them. They're never going to be happy.
Well, I had to stop watching $1 Million Listing because they kept doing all this, and I'm like, no. That's not the process. That's not what?
I wonder if Liz was watching last night, because it's the woman, it's House Hunter. No, Listed, Love It or List It. And she called something like an occasional room. It was like the spare bedroom.
Oh, and occasionally a room.
Occasional room. Well, we came up with something in the office because, everything is, now it's like primary, and we're trying to learn all these different, how to stay abreast of everything, right? So we don't want to offend anybody. And I said, let's just call everything a room, and everybody decides what they do in it.
Yeah.
There's a toilet. You choose what you want to do in here.
I know. Well, I hear bonus room all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's bonus.
It's a bonus. And then here's another room.
It's a bonus.
The possibilities are endless. Here's a bonus room.
Yeah.
I just thought a skee ball for some reason or another. I'm like,
Right?
But frog, I've used that before. Family room over garage. So, but I haven't heard that in a while.
My mom says it's because a lot of episodes are filmed in Canada. They say weird things in Canada.
That accent.
Maybe an occasional Roman is a Canadian thing.
Occasional. This is the occasional room.
Yeah, I don't know. She says it's Canadian.
Hey, I sort of like it.
We can ask May.
I'll ask May.
Ask May if she's ever heard that.
All right. So this is how the show rolls, by the way, Emmy.
Yeah. Rolls somewhere. We don't know.
Most of my conversations.
We never have a direction. We just sort of end up somewhere.
Well, and we told you, it's just like we're sitting at our kitchen table, and this is what we're discussing. But to all our WATD listeners, thank you for tuning in tonight. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. I am Sharon McNamara, the broker owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, and we are sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate and the McNamara broker team. We are here with our everything, which is literally on her nameplate, but she is the director of operations here at Boston Connect Real Estate, Melissa Wallace, and we also have our newest baby cub here at Boston Connect Real Estate. We have Emmie Flaherty. So welcome, and we're so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
We're going to be able to give you Emmie's information at the end of the show too. So if you are thinking about buying or selling a home, make sure that you give Emmie a call, because she would be happy to help you in that whole process. She is very good at what she does, and I'm really excited about the part that she loves, about the community and being, she's been texting me all weekend, like, we could call this person, we can do this, we can get this person in. So we have some exciting stuff coming up at Boston Connect Real Estate. If you have any questions for us, you can either go through Facebook like Liz does, or you can call us at the studio, 781-837-4900. We'd be happy to take your calls.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd love a caller.
Yeah, I know. Somebody has to call in to welcome Emmie tonight.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Ask me something.
Yeah, anybody. Call, please.
Yeah. We have less than 10 minutes, ladies. So what else do we want to hit on before we give Emmie an opportunity to give her contact information?
One of the things that I want to really highlight is, I always remember when I was earlier in my career, and somebody who did a for sale by owner. And again, we don't see much of it anymore anyways, but I always remember the term. It was called an unrealistic seller. That's what people called them, right? And people think, like, you don't know about pricing. Here's the other thing. You could be completely underpricing your house. I mean, overpricing your house is bad. Underpricing your house is bad. I think that there are just so many other things that we bring to the table. And people always bring up the cost to have an agent. Well, there's a cost associated with everything. And I remember listening to Clubhouse one time, and they said the professional agents come across as being overpaid, but we know that it's actually, we're undervalued. It's the agents who don't do a great job that are overpaid. And if what we're doing every single day, making sure that things don't slip through the cracks. I mean, we've had situations this past couple of weeks, agents in our office with listings, 2, 2 have come back on the market this week, and it's because of financing, right? Because we've sent out the notice to everybody. Make sure you're calling to make sure that your buyer can still afford this house. We don't want our sellers all packed up and ready to go, even though that did happen to one of them. But you don't have to pay anything. We're not compensated until we sell it. So we eagerly work hard
True story.
to sell your home. I mean, we don't get compensated unless that happens. So that's what I only have to say about, the compensation aspect of it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Well, I hear it a lot too. And one thing, when stuff closes when it should, people will reflect and say, well, I could have done that myself.
That was easy.
And it's like, hello,
Did you want it to be hard?
Not only that, but it's like, that means we did a good job.
Yeah.
So, I'm happy to hear that, but, you don't always see what's going on behind the scenes. So.
Yeah.
And they don't. I think a lot of people don't. And I think a lot of agents who get into the business, we're going to start to see a lot of people, a lot of agents who will not stay in the industry during these more difficult times. I think it's because professional agents who do this full time and do it all the time make it look easy.
Right.
That's our job.
Right.
Is to make this look easy so our clients don't have to worry about a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
If you hire a realtor and it's a flawless transaction, like you hired yourself a good realtor.
Absolutely. I love the way that you worded that.
I love the way you worded that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Emmie, if anybody who is listening would like to get in touch with you to have a one-on-one consultation to either sell their house or to buy a home, how would they get in touch with you?
That's a great question. I'm one of those people that say you can contact me any way you like. I have multi-platforms of social media, but you can definitely text me or call me. I know that there's definitely people out there that will not answer a phone call whatsoever, and I hear those people. I do answer the phone, but you can call me at 781-217-4580. You can text me. You can go on Instagram, Facebook, whatever you like, or you can email me. It's just Emmie@BostonConnect.com. And my name is Emmie.
Perfect. And give that phone number one more time.
Okay, 781-217-4580.
Perfect. And if you didn't get that information, you can always go to BostonConnect.com, or they could listen to the show again, right?
Yeah. I think we might be replaying. Yeah. Or you can go to talkrealestateroundtable.com tomorrow and you can listen to this episode if you want to listen to it one more time because we're just so great. But if you want to listen to any of our past shows, again, talkrealestateroundtable.com. You can go to your podcast app, type in Talk Real Estate Roundtable. You can search Sharon McNamara and Melissa Wallace, and we'll pop up.
We'll show up. We'll be out there on that podcast and YouTube.
Yeah. But if you want all of our contact information, any of us, all three of us, or any full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate, you can go to bostonconnect.com.
We have a couple minutes left too, so as a wrap-up, I think that some of the most important items on that list of what we do as real estate agents is it's so important that we're in it, we have the experience, we're surrounded by other full-time agents here that we can bounce things off of. We know what's happening in the market before it actually happens. We've given some really good predictions this year. We were really on track with a lot of that. And our job and our fiduciary responsibility is to you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, to make sure that your financial needs are met. This is about you, not about us. And our job is to help you through that whole process. And even dealing with the day-to-day, working with the attorneys and working with disclosures and working with just everybody, appraisers. Who else are we working with? The loan officers. Loan officers right now, that's a big thing. I'm telling you, because if with the rates going up, people are getting pushed out.
Yeah.
You definitely, if you are on the market right now, you should be checking to make sure that that buyer 100% can go forward at 7% versus 5%.
Talk about needing to be a professional. We were talking with Pete. We've had other loan officers on our show. It is very important to work with a professional loan officer because they will be on top of, especially with rising interest rates. Okay, you could no longer afford this. Maybe reel it in, a little bit, $25,000-$50,000.
That's actually another good point, though. I'm glad that you brought that up.
Thank you.
We had Pete Fakaizen in from Cross Country Mortgage. He came into the office last week, talked to all of our agents, and he also, came on the radio show. And we talked about his show again, just us afterwards, and the importance of always staying on top. I don't know how a seller would how you would do that on your own. We're in this every single day, dissecting information and figuring it out for our clients. So Emmie, again, Emmie Flaherty, what would be your top tip for sellers?
Oh, that's a good question. I would definitely say consult multiple individuals. I always say that, you know, it's not just about hiring a realtor. It's about hiring a realtor that's a good fit for you, you know, and I always have told people, I've had people reach out to me and say, you know, would you be willing to come and talk to us, give us a CMA, let us know what our house is worth? And I said, absolutely, but you should talk to several people. And I think that really helps, because I think that, you know, you kind of identify right away who's going to be a good fit for you. And I would say a lot of times, you know, just the fact that you're taking the pressure off of them, but also letting them kind of check out their options, they usually always come back. Yeah. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, and it's great too, because, you know, you're showing your confidence and understanding that in this industry, and I've said it for years, I don't really consider anybody competition, a company or an agent. It's where just all colleagues wearing a different color logo. And Emmie, that blue looks good on you, right? That Boston Connect blue looks good on you. So we're, again, very excited to have you as part of our family. Please lean in anytime you need us. You can text us, call us, do whatever you need to make everything work for you and your clients. We're here for you. And to all our WATD listeners, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Joining us.
Bye, George.
Bye, George.
Bye, guys.